Alright, so we've been talking about volume, and we know to find the volume you can multiply the length times the width times the height. Or if you're given the area of the base, you can multiply it by the height. And mostly we've just been talking about cubic units. So we haven't given specific units for what we're measuring. But now we're going to look at some specific units, and the units that we use is determined by the size of what we're measuring. So whether we need to use cubic centimeters or cubic feet or cubic inches, it's based on the size of what we're measuring. So the problem that we're going to focus on today is how many boxes of cereal will fit in my pantry. So I know that my pantry is 6 by 2 by 1, so I know that it has a volume of 12. But if I just say it has a volume of 12, we don't really know how big that is. Is it 12 inches, which would not, hold very much at all, or what it actually is 12 feet. So I want to know how many boxes of cereal I can fit in my pantry. So, like I said, I've already measured it, and I did measure it in feet. So I want to know how many boxes of this Cinnamon Toast Crunch will fit in the pantry. And I've already measured the cereal as well, but I measured it in inches since it's smaller than the pantry. So the cereal is 11 by 8 by 2. So I want to know how many of these boxes will fit in the pantry that's 6 by 2 by 1. So I'm going to give you a chance to work this out. So you can pause the video for a minute, and then we'll look at the answer together in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so following along in your composition notebook, you can check what you've done so far, and if you were having trouble with it, then just write down what I'm doing as we go through it. Some of the numbers in these problems are going to be a little bit bigger for the beginning of the year, but as we move through the year, you will definitely be able to work with these bigger numbers. So we know the volume already of the pantry is 12 cubic feet. But because the cereal box, the units of measure are in inches, we want to change our feet to inches. So we're going to change 6 feet to inches. And hopefully you remember that there are 12 inches in a foot. So we're going to multiply 6 times 12 to get 72 inches. And then we have to do that with the width as well. So 2 times 12 gives me 24 inches. And then 1 times 12 gives me 12 inches. So now, in inches, we can find the volume of the pantry. So I'm going to just take 2 numbers at a time, 72 times 24, and that's going to be the base of the pantry. And then I can multiply it by the height. So you can use any strategy. I'll use the area model, and you should be familiar with the area model. So I'm breaking up the 70 in 2, and then the 20 in 4. So then I'm just going to multiply 20 times 70 to get 1400, 20 times 2 to get 40, 4 times 70 to get 280, and then 4 times 2 to get 8. And then I can add these together, so that would be 1,440, and then 288. And then I'll put those together, and I end up with 1,728. So that's the area of the base. So now I can multiply it by the height to get the volume. So 1,728 times 12. And I'm also going to use an area model for this. So I can split it up into 1,720 and 8, and then 10 and 2. So 10 times 1,000 is going to give me 10,000. and then 10 times 700 is going to give me 7,000. 10 times 20 would give me 200, and then 10 times 8 is going to give me 80. And then I'll multiply everything. 2 times 1,000 gives me 2,000. 2 times 700 would be 1,400. 2 times 20 is going to be 40, and then 2 times 8 is going to be 16. And then we'll put these numbers together. So we end up with, if I'm going to add a 10,000 plus 700 plus 200 plus 80, I end up with 17,280. Then when I put these together, if you need to work it out to the side, 2,000 plus 1,400 plus 40 plus 16, I end up with 3,456. So then I add these together. And I end up with 20,736. So this is my volume in cubic inches. So the volume of the pantry is 20,736 cubic inches. Now I can find the volume of the cereal to see how many boxes will fit in the pantry. So I'm going to just do 11 times 8 to get 88, and then I'll multiply that by 2 to get my total volume. So I'm just going to use the algorithm this time, and I end up with 176 cubic inches. So to see how many boxes I get, I'm going to divide the 20,736 divided by the 176. So this year you will learn how to divide with these big numbers. So I'm going to use a strategy that you might have used before, and that is the big 7. All right, so we can take a group of 100. So 100 times 176 gives us 17,600. And some of you may remember this from last year. If not, we will be practicing more this year. And so now I'm going to take a group of 10. So 10 times 176 would be 1,760. So I'm going to subtract. Now I don't have enough to make another group of 10. So I'm going to try a group of 5 now. And I can work it out to the side to see what I get. 176 times 5. So that would be 38. So 880. So I've got 496 left, so I don't have enough to make another group of 5. And so if I'm kind of estimating, I can probably make about 2 more groups. So 176 times 2. That gives me 352. So now I have 144 left over, so I don't have enough to make any more groups. So I'm going to add these together. So I've got 17 plus 100, so 117 boxes of cereal will fit into the pantry. And I have, some space left over, but not enough for another box of cereal. So I can fit 117 boxes. Alright, the second problem that we're going to look at involves Lucy, because she's always wanting more treats. So she's always wanting me to buy her more treats. But after filling up my pantry with all that cereal, I'm running out of space to store them. But I did find a small box that I measured in inches, and the dimensions are 11 by 8 by 4. So I'm going to use this as the storage container for her treats. And then I figured out that her favorite treats, dental sticks, if I get a small bag, they have dimensions of 6 by 2 by 1. So I measured both of these in inches. So I want to know how many bags of treats can I buy to fit in this storage box. So Lucy really, wants new treats, but let's see how many we can buy that will fit. So pause the video and take a minute to solve this problem, and then we'll work it out together. Okay, so we're gonna find the volume of the storage box first, and this one is gonna be a little bit easier than the other one because they're both already in inches. So I can do 11 times 8 and get 88, and then 88 times 4, and again, you can use any strategy for this. So that's 32, 33, 34, 35, so 352 cubic inches for the storage box. And then each of the treats, 6 times 2 times 1, would be 12 cubic inches. So we want to figure out how many bags of treats I can buy to store in the box. So I'm going to do like we did before. Now we're going to divide 352 divided by 12. And, I'm going to use the same strategy that we did before. And groups of 10 are real easy to work with, so I'm going to go ahead and do a group of 10. So 10 times 12 gives me 120. And then I subtract. I have 232, so I can do another group of 10. So now I have 112 left over, so I don't have enough to do a group of 10, but it is really close. And I know my 12s that, 9 times 12 gives me 108. So I'm going to make a group of 9. And I have 4 left over. So I don't have enough to make another group. But I'm going to add these together to see how many bags of treats I can buy for Lucy. So I have 10 plus 9. So that gives me 29. So in my storage container, I have enough for 29 bags of treats. So I think Lucy's going to be happy with that, at least for a little while. So this will be in your composition notebook. You'll have a couple of questions to answer about this video. And as always, remember, be kind to each other, press on, and discover something new today.